Oh, man. So, did you plan for it? Did you get your date night together? I know a lot of people that said, man, they were really looking forward to this. Some folks said, listen, me and the wife, we just gonna stay in, we just gonna chill. We're gonna watch Coming to America too. So looking forward to this movie. Two words: cartoonish mess. This thing was awful. And I'm not surprised that it's getting the remarks it's getting from Rotten Tomatoes. By and large, most people did not like this movie, and I see why. I cannot get the time back in my life from watching this. There were so many things that were wrong about this. I really don't even know where to start, and I'm not even sure why they made this movie. You know, some movies are set up for sequels, but some movies are one and dones, and that's the way it should be. And Coming to America is a one and done movie. It was so good for its time. And part of the problem with Coming to America 2 is it tries to reflect some of the comedy that was funny back then, but is not funny today. And they try to migrate that into this sequel, and it just doesn't work. They should have left it alone. Lord, you should have left it alone. So let's start with the story of Coming to America, which is a bit choppy and really all over the place, and it feels disjointed when you are watching it. This is going to be spoilery, so if you haven't seen it and you want to see it, don't know why you do want to see it though, but if you want to see it, you might want to click away right now and then come back and join the conversation later. But the story is choppy, it's all over the place, and essentially what happens here is Eddie Murphy finds out that he has a son that's in America. He needs someone to assume the throne of Zamunda, and he goes back to America to find his son. Turns out that he had a one-night stand. He was drugged by someone, and he had a one-night stand with that person, and as a result of that, it resulted in the son that he had in America. So essentially he goes back to find the son. He finds the son, tells the son who he is. The son comes back to America to go through a series of different tests and things like that to get him ready for the throne. And that is essentially the story in a nutshell, although it's not quite that clean. The way that this story is told is very disjointed, and there are a lot of other elements in this story that are there as kind of plot devices to push the story along, but none of it feels necessary. When you watch this film, you think to yourself, why did you make this movie? I really don't understand. At first I thought maybe it's a cash grab. Maybe it's just about making some money. Now, normally when you see things like that, you see a whole bunch of advertisements for brands and things like that. But I don't recall seeing a bunch of that in this movie. I'm not sure why they made this movie. Now, I can tell you, though, that the story does drag, it's disjointed, and it's not fun. It's not really entertaining to watch, and a lot of it feels formulaic. You know what's going to happen almost from the beginning of the story as it unfolds. So there's nothing intriguing, nothing immersion. There is no immersion factor in this that pulls you in. Nothing really works here. There are parts of this story where they do try to bring in elements from the original film, and I feel like that's for a nostalgia stake. That's for all of us that love the original and all the different characters and the different nuances of what we enjoyed about that film. They try and migrate that to the sequel, but it doesn't land as nostalgia. It lands as just feeling outdated. It feels like comedy that's not funny anymore. So it doesn't really work. And even some of the classic kind of characters that we see in Coming to America 2 that we saw in Coming to America 1, the barbershop characters, none of them have the impact that they had in Coming to America 1. Now, by and large, most of this is because of the story. Coming to America 1, though it had these perfectly timed comedic elements and these really interesting characters that were perfect for that day and age, perfect for that time, those characters, the jokes, all of that were good for that time period because they land perfectly for that point in time. That's why we found it funny. But none of that migrated well to this second film. And also, Coming to America 1 had such a better story. The whole idea of Hakeem coming to America to find and marry someone that he really loved, to resist the tradition of a prepared marriage, I think that's what they call it, a prepared marriage that happened in Zamunda. That whole story of him coming to find true love really made Coming to America really enduring. And though it was funny, you really felt the kind of dramatic element of Coming to America. And it was the marriage of that comedy and that drama that made the movie so uniquely good and that made much of us love that film. This doesn't tell that same story. Coming to America 2 is not able to give us that strength of story. The story feels very weak. We also have these characters that, as I said before, are cartoonish characters. They really are Wesley Snipes' character, Leslie Jones' character, Tracy Morgan's character are literally like cartoons. And it is just crazy to see. At some point, you think to yourself when you're writing this, I'm not really sure how I'm supposed to react to this. Is this supposed to be ha-ha funny? Do I see this character and think, oh, that's crazy, that character's crazy? What am I supposed to do with these characters? Because they don't fit in this movie. And if they're there just for devices, for mechanisms of humor, it's not making me laugh either. It's making me confused. I don't know what's going on here. So everything felt very, very disjointed. This was just not a good movie from a lot of different aspects. I'm not surprised it is getting the ratings that it's getting. If you've not seen Coming to America, save your money. You know what? Watch the first one. You'll enjoy that better. Watch one. You will enjoy that much better because Coming to America 2 is pretty bad, if not awful. That is all.